Hey guys, if you're interested in this week's Wishlist Pass, where I'll be filling you in on all the new makeup products I'm interested in getting and what products I'll be taking a pass on, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so before we get started on all the new and exciting makeup products that are coming out, I have to give you an update on the Violet Voss Flamingo palette. So my last video, I did a review on the Flamingo palette and I used a bunch of blues, a yellow, some peaches. And when I did that review with the shimmer shades in particular, when I used a less dense brush, nothing was applying. No shadow was applying at all. It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing ever. And then when I used a denser brush, they applied fine, just like the other Violet Voss palettes that I know and love. So today I decided to do a look with purples, pinks, and guess what? I even applied the shimmers with flat packer brushes that were not dense at all, and they applied fine, you know? I don't know what was up. I think, you know, I went back to look at that initial kind of flat packer brush I used. It's a super old brush, so I don't know if that is why it was just so finicky. It was the strangest thing ever. I haven't used that brush in a while, and so I think I'm just gonna get rid of that brush because I think it really messed with my review, honestly. So as a recap, I would completely give this Flamingo palette an A-. I had it at a B because the mattes are very easy to build up. The only one that is slightly chalky is the yellow, but you can still build it up quite easily. And seriously, this palette is really good. I don't know what was wrong the other day. It was just like throwing me for a loop. Yeah, so it was really weird. I just wanted to show you really quickly, seriously, like 2 seconds, that's it, then we'll get right into the new makeup products. I just used the shade Watermelon, Bikini, Flip Flops, Donut, and Pinwheel, and they all applied great. I didn't have to I didn't struggle. It was just easy peasy. And I will completely update the info box on that Violet Voss video with my updated kind of results. So yeah, that makeup brush is going bye-bye. I have no idea what the deal is with that brush. It was like a defective old brush. So yeah, the shimmer shades apply well even with flat packer brushes that aren't dense, so who knows? This palette though is really good and I really enjoyed it today. Just a nice fun purple pink kind of look. Alright, so now let's move on to the content of what this video is primarily about, and that's new makeup products. So first off, we have to start out with Pat McGrath, because come on guys, like you've heard me say in numerous videos, whenever it comes to Pat McGrath, she's my #1. So she has just come out with 10 brand new MatteTrance lipsticks. Now the formula of her lipsticks, that's amazing. Be it matte, be it satin, they have pigment, they're comfortable, they don't, especially with the mattes, they don't feel drying, they're not like cloyingly dry, they're just comfortable. Oh my gosh, and the packaging of those components of her lipsticks, oh my gosh, with the little lips on the, and black and the gold, and just the whole thing is just an A+ in my opinion. So, these 10 new shades look really pretty. The one shade that stands out to me above all else is the Forbidden Love shade, this really kind of true red shade. It just looks super sexy to me. I'm not gonna get it right now though because honestly I wanna wait until like the Sephora VIB sale in November. I just wanna save up some money, okay, because it just adds up. So that's the color that stands out to me, but honestly, you can't go wrong with any kind of Pat McGrath lipstick shade because the formula is just so darn good. So yes, I would completely recommend any kind of Pat McGrath lipsticks, and I can't wait to see what people say about her new MatteTrance lipstick shades because Pat McGrath is just seriously an artistic genius. Okay, so next up is Makeup Forever, and now they've just released their Matte Velvet Skin Foundation. Now, they have already had this before, so it seems like a revamped, sort of reformulated foundation. I think the only difference it looks like in the title, like the name of the actual foundation, that they added the word skin, I believe, at the end. So it looks like to me they've probably reformulated it and made it better, but the older version of this foundation a lot of people swear by. And personally, I've never tried the older version of this matte foundation. And I'm really interested to see from those people who've tried both what they think of this new version. So honestly, I'm gonna wait and see. I do appreciate how they have kind of the wet swatches next to the dry swatches, just because it seems like this foundation in particular seems to oxidize. It's really nice to see what shade your foundation is gonna be once it kind of dries. So for me, in Makeup Forever foundations, I'm normally like, I think it was, the old name was like 117 or something, Y117, and then once they kind of redid their HD foundations, I was in Y, the equivalent was Y225, I believe. But for these swatches, it looks like the Y225 will be a shade too deep for me, the dry down shade, so I'd probably have to go one shade lighter, which would be the Y215, I believe. So that's nice to see, just so you can kind of gauge where you kind of stand. And the shade range seems pretty good. Yes, there could be a couple more fair shades. Yes, there could be a couple more dark shades, but all in all, I think they did a really good job with the amount of shades kind of across the board. But yes, of course, they can always extend the range even more to those kind of individuals where it's kind of harder for them to find shades. So it would be nice if they extended this even more. But as a starting off point, I think they did very well. So will I be getting this? Like I said, I'll wait and see what those people say comparing this to their older kind of version of this foundation and see what happens. For the most part, I just kind of like satin foundations, because depending on the brand, sometimes dewy foundations can just look too oily on me, and sometimes matte foundations can look overly drying on me and just kind of drain all my skin of any kind of hydration and just make me look 1,000 years older. So it really depends on the formula, but normally I aim towards a more satin foundation, but you know, I do like my dewy foundations and my mattes depending on the formula. So I'm gonna wait and see. It's a wait and see for this, okay guys? Alright guys, so let's stick with skincare, foundation, that sort of thing. So next up is Becca, and they're gonna be releasing their Skin Love collection. Now this will be out on August the 3rd, so it's coming up soon. And there's gonna be a bunch of foundations. There's gonna be like this kind of elixir primer, and then this sort of like, it looks like a highlighter stick, like a stick highlighter. So it kind of, all of these products are supposed to be infused with ingredients that are very good and very nourishing for your skin, I believe. So that's nice to see, nice to hear. The foundation shades themselves, I think they look pretty okay for fair, light, and medium skin tones, but for deep skin tones, I think they could have come out with a couple more shades. It's just my opinion, but you know, these brands always have room to grow, so hopefully they will also extend this range a bit more. So yeah, they say this foundation is going to be more of a like medium coverage foundation that looks natural, like a soft matte foundation, they say. So to me that just sounds like a satin foundation, which like I just said a second ago, those are the foundations I kind of love the most if I had to pick one. It's just like a natural kind of healthy foundation, just right in the middle. So yeah, I'm very interested actually in the foundation. I don't know about the highlighter stick or the kind of primer yet, but I'm definitely interested in this foundation. I'm also kind of just waiting to see what I think of these foundations shade-wise in person in store. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so next up is Nars, and oh my gosh, Nars always has the best packaging, don't you think? It's just always so sleek and pretty, and just the type of packaging you could just kind of display on your vanity, or like if you were taking it with you in your purse, you'd be like, hey guys, look at this. Isn't this pretty? No, I'm just kidding, but oh my gosh, I just love Nars packaging. They have come out with this new eye and face palette. It's called the Atomic Blonde palette. Now, isn't that the Charlize Theron movie that came out a while back? I never saw it. I really wanted to see it. I heard from a lot of people it was a pretty good action movie, but yeah, was that a good movie? Have you guys seen it? Should I see it? I don't know, but love Charlize. She's a great actress, and of course, she's gorgeous. So anyway, I digress. So let's get back to this palette, this atomic, oh, I can't talk, guys. This Atomic Blonde palette. So now let's get back to this Atomic Blonde palette, if my tongue doesn't get all twisted. So it looks like this gorgeous sort of eyeshadow palette that has like browns, bronzes, champagnes, just like the perfect kind of neutral eye look palette. And then there's a highlighter, and then there's a bronzer. Now this looks just utterly gorgeous. I think this palette in particular would be really nice for kind of medium deep complexions and deep complexions. So because the bronzer in there looks deep enough for deep complexions. And if you're kind of on the medium deep side, like the darker side of medium, I also think this bronzer won't be too deep for you. So, and I think the highlight would look perfect on medium and deep skin tones. So not to say that, you know, fair and light and like people on the lighter side of medium can't buy this, you know. I could totally purchase this and then use the highlighter and bronzer as eyeshadows and just use the whole thing as an eyeshadow palette. So seriously, kudos to Nars for releasing something that is just perfect for deeper skin tones. Of course, yes, it would be nice to have two versions of this, one for more, you know, geared towards people on the lighter side of the spectrum, others towards the deeper side, but honestly, it's okay. Because over the years, makeup companies have either forgotten or just not even considered kind of deeper skin tones as their kind of target market. It's nice to see that now we are veering away from that and becoming more inclusive, because honestly, there are so many different people in the world. We all have different skin tones and we all matter, and we should all feel like we matter and feel like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't try this foundation. Do they not care about me? Am I like a non-entity? Like, no one needs that sort of self-doubt or sadness or that sort of like feeling. You know, everyone wants to belong, everyone wants to feel loved. And seriously, sorry, this is not a therapy session, sorry guys, but I'm just saying, yeah, even though it might suck for the lighter skinned individuals about this palette, you know, you can still use it as an eyeshadow palette. And seriously, there's still so many brands that even now haven't expanded as much as they should expand to include kind of deeper skin tones. So when you have lighter skin tone and you're used to always getting your, you know, shade in bronzers or highlighters or this or that, then suddenly when there's a product that doesn't work for you in the way that it's supposed to be specified, you might get kind of angry. But the thing is, you should think about the people where it's kind of the opposite, where for the most part, lots of the stuff doesn't work for them, you know, because we have to kind of make the playing field equal so that we can all have sort of a great kind of makeup experience. I don't want to drag this on. I'm going kind of like long-winded on this, but I'm just saying, you know, for us fair and lighter skin individuals, you can still use this as a eyeshadow palette completely, and for medium deep to deep complexions, yay. You know, I'm glad, I'm happy for you guys, and I want there to be like a level sort of a makeup playing field, because we're all just people and we all want the same things out of life, you know, like happiness. So personally, I won't be getting this. I don't really need another neutral palette right now. I'm already obsessed with the ABH Soft Glam palette, so that's the one I've been using for the most part for my neutral look. So I really don't need this, but it looks like a really, really pretty face and eye palette. Alright, so next up is Kevyn Aucoin. I have never tried any Kevyn Aucoin products, and this seems like the perfect item to try. But especially if you are a professional makeup artist, I think this palette would be kind of an amazing piece to have when you are working, because you can use it on a variety of skin tones. There's going to be I can't even speak, guys. There's going to be 3 contour powders in there. The 2 lightest ones I can probably get away with. The deepest one I cannot. There's 2 highlighting powders. They both look utterly kind of magical. I can get away with one. The other one I already know it's going to be too dark. And then there's sort of a blusher bronzer kind of gradient bronzer, I think in the shade Venice it's called. And Kevyn Aucoin calls it like the Neo bronzer, but it looks like you can kind of, one side is more of a blushy shade, one side is more of a bronzer shade. So, you know, it does look really pretty. It's $59. I don't know, guys. It's just so darn pretty. I might end up getting it just because I can use, excuse me, I can use the deeper highlighter shade on my eyes. Oh my god. Or it's like an inner corner highlight. And then the deepest contour shade I could always use kind of as an eyeshadow, just because it just looks so pretty. But, you know, I do think this would be perfect for professional makeup artists, though, just because of the wide range of contour powders and the highlighter powders specifically. But yeah, it's really pretty, and Kevyn Aucoin, I've heard, has amazing contour and highlighters. So those two things in particular in this palette really kind of have me thinking seriously about getting this. So yeah, that is out right now. You can get it online. Oh my gosh, guys, I also forgot to mention the liquid lipsticks, the matte Molten liquid lipsticks from Kevyn Aucoin. Those are also out right now online. You can get them. The shades look really pretty. The one shade in particular that just seems to be like calling my name, something different too, is this kind of cooler toned lavender mauve-y shade. I think it's called Demi. Do you guys say Demi or Demi? Like Demi Moore, Demi Lovato? Oh my gosh, I really hope Demi Lovato is doing all right in the hospital. That was really, really scary. Anyway, so yeah, these look really nice. That's kind of it for this week's Wishlist Surpassed. Hope everything is going really well with you guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.